Howdy folks, welcome back to Vidnock Arc. This is like 23 of our 50 state series where we take off and touch down in each of the 50 states of the United States. A long series, but we're smack dab in the middle of it. We do mix in other flights as we go, so it's not just the United States for 50 flights in a row. But today's Michigan. Big deep breath there. I have to learn to breathe better when I talk, don't I? Michigan, we are at Two Hearted Airstrip in Newberry, Michigan. We're going to fly over to Escanaba in the B1900. Kind of a big plane for this flight, but it is 100 nautical miles. As a crow flies, it should be a little less than that. But I want to take the B1900, my favorite aircraft, for the sim. The reason why I bought this thing is because this was my kid's very first small airplane. And I wasn't with them, unfortunately, but they flew from Minneapolis to northern Minnesota, and I'm drawing a blank. War Road, that is, Marvin Windows. And they flew in the Marvin Windows jet, they call it, even though it's not a jet. So I made a Marvin Windows livery for it long time ago. We did a whole series of Marvin Window flights, flying their flight paths and things. I chose it today because I could, and it's been a long time since we've used it. It's not the best livery, but it's the only one I've made, the only livery I've ever made myself, and I really enjoyed it. I know it could be better in a lot of ways, but whatever. You can get this actually on the org forum if you want it. Just search my username, which is Sonata in F sharp, on the org forum, because I chose that name long before I had a YouTube channel. So if you look it up, you'll probably find it, or just search Marvin Windows B1900D by Carenado, and you'll find this livery yourself. Otherwise, I don't know, lots of people download it. If they might like collecting liveries like I do, like I'll just download every livery I can find. I have like 150 liveries for this thing that I've downloaded. But anyway, don't know why I started talking about that, but that is why we're looking at a Marvin Windows plane, because they have one of these. They have a C and a D, and they had a C90, and they had a whole bunch of stuff. One of my subscribers actually knows a lot about their air fleet and has left comments below, and I appreciate that. I'm always willing to learn new things. Always time to get moving along here. So like I said, we're Newberry, going over to Escanaba. Yes, story time again. I know our last flight at story time. We're going to have story time again today. I know some of you love that. Some of you might not like it. But I love telling stories, at least when I'm in a storytelling mood. And it is even later past my bedtime than normal right now. So I'm kind of fired up on a couple Coca-Colas. And I want to tell a story about Michigan. I do have a couple stories about Michigan. So we got to get this going, though. Not a model airport, so I just toss this at the end of the runway. We'll just start up and have a quick taxi to straighten out. And this thing certainly can take off on a grass strip in real life, and it certainly does. There's STOL, short takeoff and landing. So no problems there. Otherwise, we gotta get going, because 100 nautical miles this late at night for me is quite a trip in more ways than one. So let's get going. Let's pull out my paper checklist. We got some lights going on because we have the GPU hooked up, our external power hooked up. So let's hop up front and let's get our fuel going here. Where are we? Hour 16? Let's do a little bit longer, just because, in case I screw up. Real weather's turned on. And 8:04 or so in the morning, which should not be this dark, but the simulator has the seasons backwards for some strange reason. In the northern hemisphere, gets light later and dark too early for the northern hemisphere. Whatever. Turn on the battery. Master lights, already got master lights on. Nav lights, what do we want to do for that? We'll turn that on now. And we can turn that nav on now, I guess. The rest will stay the way they are for right now. Remove the static elements, which means you need to hop outside. Get that mouse out of there, jeez. Let's close that up. Close the doors, which means the baggage door first. Other two we can do from inside, I think. If we do this, there's a click spot down here somewhere. Yeah. Everybody ready? I'm hiding because I'm scared to face my audience here. Alright, here we go. There's a click spot back here somewhere. Nice, sounds like we're in a spaceship. Alright, emergency lights can go to normal here, and arm normal. There we go. All right, EFS, EFIS, turn that on. We can hide that for right now. Parking brake should be set. I think that's back here. Yes, parking brake is set. Fuel switches is this one. I feel like it's been forever since I've flown this plane. I don't think so. Sure feels like it will view the main tank, view the auxiliary. This is viewing tanks, not selecting them. It's viewing them, and it uses auxiliary first. We have more than enough fuel. We'll probably not even use the auxiliary tank, actually. Propping everything to feather. We got to reset this gently. There we go. Engine auto igniters, and we're ready to fire this thing up. Ignition switch hold. Let's do left engine first today. When it gets to 15% on the turbine, you would normally do low idle on your conditioner, but it doesn't work. Again, you have to go to high idle. You can bring it back to low idle in a taxi, but to start up for some reason, you have to go all the way to high idle. I have both of them mapped on my yoke, so they'll both go up, and we will let go now. Yes, gyro drift should not be a problem in this aircraft in real life, but it wasn't simulated when this was modeled. So now that they simulate it, the airplane needs you to worry about it. There's 6,300 turbine. Last time we never got up to 63, probably because of altitude. Boom. So turn on left generator. Right engine, that should shoot right up. Because we have the conditioners forward, and because of editing, it'll shoot up even faster. See how quick that was? Right up to 63. Do we get it? Yes, I can't really see that far. I think it's 63. Let's turn on the other generator. Close the cover. Auto igniters can come off now. That's to save wear and tear on the engine. Avionics. There it is. AC bus. There they are. Confirm that the gyro drift is taken care of, and it is. Turn off external power. We should keep running. Yes, rudder boost between the seats. Where are you? There you are. Climate on the co-pilot side. Heaters, blowers. We'll turn this on now. That's for the cabin pressure. Let's do auto, because then it's hilarious because it goes up to 120 degrees in here. I'm going to do manual. And I just heard the heaters turn on. Let's test overspeed and stall while we're here. And don't want to hear any of those things. I do that now so I can put the yoke back in and forget about it. Alright, let's go over here. Let's get our Avidyne set up. Declutter, go forward. Weather will show up on there if we have any storms. What do we have for flight plan? We do have a flight plan. We have a GPS approach. Now, it's not close enough that the weather might be the same. But let's get the weather now. And light variable. Let's assume it's going to be at our destination too. I mean, it's off the lake, and it's quite a ways away. But we'll try. Let's see. We're going to be heading westward, I believe. I think. I hope I know where I am. Right? Yes. So let's do runway 27, or do you want to do runway 9 so we can circle around and look at some stuff? Just say light variable. How many miles out is that? 11, 12 miles. That's not too far out of the way. But I don't have a waypoint to get to it because it'd be a super sharp U-turn. Let's do runway 27 just because I don't have any waypoints in between. So let's try doing the built-in one again. So let's do flight plan. Let's clear out where we were last time. Oh my gosh. This one has scroll wheel. Good. Okay. Is that where we are? Yes, we are. So let's do that one. Hey, I got it right this time. Let's do this one. And we're going to, where are we? 6 Yankee 5. We're going to go to Kilo Echo Sierra Charlie. There we go. Delta County Airport, Escanaba. Boom. Now, let's do this, do procedure. Select approach. Runway 27, GPS. We're not going to do vectors. We are going to do Zumba. Is that on there? Yes. Zoom app, whatever. And let's activate it. And there's that whole thing again. Ugh. So what we're going to do, we're going to go direct to here for now. Wait a second. June moves. He's going to do it again. Our hold is at whatever it's called. I guess we could go direct to here. It's only 2, 4. It's 5 miles out. Not a lot of play time to mess around if we have to make adjustments, but let's just go right there. See, the whole is like if you have vectors and stuff from ATC, which we don't. Let's just go right there, deal with it. And the last time I did that, I added a thing, and it didn't really work out either anyway, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to get the look of that dog leg. We will figure it out as we get there. Worst case scenario, we just put in a waypoint by hand and just break free autopilot, just fly the plane. That's worst case. Otherwise, let's just do that and worry about vertical navigation later. Where are we on the checklist? Flight plan, CDI to GPS because we always use autopilot. Abaddon already did that. Raised instruments, we're not using them, but we'll turn them on if we can. Altimeter barometer, here we go. Let's pull up that map again and get the weather. It is going to be light variable, yes we know. That's why we're taking off on runway. What runway is this? If we look at our direction, north 20, 36, I guess. Yeah, because we're tilted. That's right, 36. Okay. 3022. 3022, which is just two little clickies there. Excellent. Test normal speed, saw we did. Test caution lights. I guess we could test the lights. How do you do that? I have a preset for that. Yeah, there we go. Two sets. The red one's up above, the warnings. The caution's down below. Excellent. No way. Alright, next page of the checklist. Cabin pressure, we already did the bleed air valves there. So we'll come down here. 100 nautical miles or so. What does it say it is? 120. For once, it's longer than I thought it was going to be. Oh, good gracious. Okay, anyway. So, because 120, yeah, we're going to fly about 16,000 feet. So let's set that to 17. We'll bring this all the way up for now, bring it back a little bit. And then what we're going to do, we're going to keep an eye on these gauges up here. Both of those have to stay in the green. We'll dial back that little knob as we need to. Alright, what is next? Cabin pressure, auto feather to arm. Where is that? I always forget where this is. Right there. I remember this time. Generator ties closed. Right there. Anti-ice install and all that stuff. Yes, yes. We'll just flip this stuff on because it's fun. Alright, prop sync. Yep. Autopilot set up. What I still going to do 16,000 feet. Let's bring this all the way up to 16,000. We'll just go clear up there. Just like that. Come over here. Autopilot. All we're going to do is nav, which is already set to GPS, and climb 2200. Boom, 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 boom. All selects already on there. Vertical speed. Boom. That's it. It is that easy. Props to taxi. Taxi lights on. Low idle. And get out of here. Taxi lights on. Props to taxi. Should change pitch a little bit. There we go. And put that yoke in. And conditions low idle. That should change sound too. But not stall. Right. Don't stall. Okay. There we go. We are ready to get out of here. Or set of flaps down because our taxi is so short. Let's just straighten out. I wanted some kind of taxi, so we're just going to straighten out. Maybe we're going to straighten out. There we go. There, that was our taxi. And set the parking brake. And where are we? Whoops, I skipped the shutdown. Where's my deal? Here you go. Flaps down. Did we do flaps down? Did we get one flap? Yes, we did. Alright. I'm up here. These lights come off. These lights come off. So in the back, it looks like this. Nice and dark. People's eyes will adjust. Shades are up. This comes on. This comes on. This comes off. This comes on. This comes on. On. Yes, trim for takeoff. Which if we do, whoa. If we do like that, I think that's about 2,200 feet per minute. Heading bug. In case I screw up autopilot, we'll go runway heading. And start the stopwatch. How do we do that? How do I reset this thing? I can never remember. Okay, if I've done another flight, I can never get it to reset. What if I push this? Or push this? Or push this? That should also go between 12 and 24, and it doesn't. Oh, never mind. I went like that. Okay. I can't get it reset. So we're going to start the timer at 42:30, and then we'll take away whatever time, and then that's the flight time. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? I keep putting my paper down. Go. Oh, we're done. Okay. Conditioners to high idle. Props to full. And we will, the parking brake go, we'll hold the brakes a little bit, spool up a little bit. Because it is grass and it's short and we want to get going. And okay, it overcame my brake. So here we go. I'm going to rotate in that white arc. Left rudder this time. Okay. And we better have enough runway. Goodness gracious. Rotate. Get over that highway. Barely. That was nerve-wracking. Gear up. Flaps coming up. Yeah, we don't have to go that high though. Come on, come back down. Nose down to 2,200. There we go. Nose down to 2,200 and level off. I'm trying to do a smooth handoff to autopilot and autopilot will turn us towards the GPS. And we're hands-free. What we gotta do now is bring back prop and throttle in a moment so we don't start a fire. But let's have a few looks around first. Oh, that's a nice lake. What is that? I'll have to look that up. Looks like a big kidney bean. Alright. We're just gonna go up, 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 up. And away and head westward towards Escanaba. That's it. We do have story time in a moment. But I just want to do a little bit of looking around. Wow, that just looks amazing. Version 4 mesh, by the way. Always version 4 mesh. Alright, let's manage some engines so we don't start on fire, then we'll have some story times. So everything has to come back into the green. All those gauges coming down. Not too complicated. Much easier than you think. There we go. I just like to go full steam ahead, so that's why I just keep everything. As long as it's in the green, it's fine. Start at the top. Green, 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 green. Everything's good. Alright, we're just going to climb straight up. 10,000 feet with travel landing lights off. Let's come over here. Calculate VNAV. So what do we want to do? VNAV. We want to be at, what? Looking at the GPS for runway 27. Janu, we want to be at 22. There's 22 at Geneva or whatever. There we go. 800 feet per minute. That's because that's the default descent rate in this thing. Boom. 27 minutes, which will come down very quickly once we level off, by the way. So there we go. Just double check everything. 2200. Yep. Boom. Good. Now what? Out of date. I know it's out of date. I've never updated my nav stuff. Okay, that's it. Everything's still in the green. Everything's set. Let me just double check. Yeah, landing lights off at 10 grand. That's it. What are we at? 64. Alright, so let's have a look outside a little bit of sightseeing, then I'll do some story time. Alright, we're well above 10,000 feet because we're doing some sightseeing, so let's turn off our landing lights. Now, I realized a little bit ago, I said we were in the Upper Peninsula. I meant we're in the Lower Peninsula, going to head towards the Upper Peninsula, so we're going to cross over Lake Michigan. I kind of spaced that up, I was talking so quickly. So anyway, we are in the middle of the hand, and then we're going to head out over Lake Michigan towards Escanaba. That is what we're doing. And that's what we're going to see. So we're going to see a lot of water. But anyway, let's hop inside here, see what else we need to do. Engines still look good. We'll probably bring our throttle up a little bit. There we go, landing lights already off. We're not going to reach 18,000 feet, so we're not going to reset our barometer or anything. Otherwise, everything is good. We're going to gain speed very quickly here. And this 16 minutes is going to go down very, very fast. We're about to level off. So let's keep an eye on that for right now. Otherwise, story time. 2 stories about Michigan as we look over Lake Michigan here. In fact, you know what? Before I do that, let me show you where we are on the map. So this is Michigan, outline, Upper Peninsula is off the screen. We're going to go right over this like thumb thing. I know if you're from Michigan, you use the hand to see where you are. I have a neighbor from Michigan, and she's always doing that. So anyway, we're going to go right over this thumb thing sticking out, and then we'll reach the lake, go across the lake to Escanaba. That's what we're doing, in case you're wondering what we're doing. If you're not wondering what we're doing, you know anyway. So anyway, First story about Michigan. Let's just actually sit back in the passenger seat and relax a little bit here. What do we want to do? Let's use this one. So, way back in college, when I was young, I had a cheap little sports car that I treated like a fancy sports car. We were driving through Michigan. We were coming from Duluth, Minnesota to Michigan just because. We're going to Escanaba, actually, which is how I thought of this flight. Just because. It was like Friday night. My friend and I, who I don't think we were roommates yet, we're just friends. We weren't partiers or anything, so we decided to go driving because that's what we did. And in Michigan, at least at the time, this was 20 years ago at least, in Michigan, speed limit in construction zones was 45 unless it was signed to lower. So if you approach a construction zone, speed limit was 45 even if it didn't say so. Now in Minnesota, that's not true. In Minnesota, you do whatever the speed limit is signed to be in construction zones. Sometimes they don't even reduce the speed for construction zones. So speed limit was like 55 or whatever, Highway 2, US 2, and I was doing 60, maybe 59, whatever, and I got pulled over. I'm like, oh, this is weird. I've never been pulled over before. I'm such a goody-goody. What's going on? It was kind of funny, too, because I saw the cop fly up behind me with a gigantic single blue light. And then as soon as he flipped on that light, I panicked and slammed on the brakes, like really hard, and stopped. And he gets out, young cop. Oh, my gosh. He was probably younger than I was, actually. And he comes out. He's like, you were doing 60 miles an hour. I'm like, okay, sure, why, I don't know what that problem is, like that 15 over the limit. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, in Michigan, speed limit is 45 in a construction zone. I said, oh, I didn't see a sign. I just saw that up ahead. It's 35. So he brought my license back, and my record was, clean. It still is. I've been driving since I was 12. My license is still perfectly clean. And he's like, okay, in Minnesota, you don't have this law, so I'm not going to give you a ticket for it, blah, blah, blah. Now, had we did have that law in Minnesota, I would have gotten a ticket. But I was 15 over the limit technically, but we didn't have that speed limit law for construction zones like they did in Michigan, where if it's unsigned, it's still 45. So let me go. But before that, he checked the trunk. He's like, what are you guys doing? Minnesota plates. And I'm like, well, we are going to Escanaba. He's like, why? I'm like, just for fun. He's like, that's suspicious. I'm like, of course it's suspicious. You got two young college guys going from Duluth to Escanaba for fun on their Friday night. And I said, we just don't party. We just like drive around. He's like, okay, well, let me check your trunk. Of course he'd check our trunk. Why else would two college guys be going to Escanaba for no reason unless we're up to no good, right? But we were legit. We just like to drive around. So I open up, the trunk of my car. I had a little Fiero, 86 Fiero, and engine's in the middle, or in the back. Technically it's the middle. He's like, oh. He's like, what's in here? Guys, that toolbox. Open it up. He's like, this is all you have for a trunk? I'm like, you bet. He's like, where do you put groceries? I'm like, we shove it in the front, because my spare tire was gone, so we used the front for groceries in college. I'm like, do I see the front? He's like, nope, you guys are good. And he walked away and left. And he's saying, like, never seen a car with engine in the back before, apparently. It said Pontiac on it. But yeah, that's a whole other series of stories. I could just sit and tell stories about that Fiero. That was a fun car. Had a racing manifold on it. Cute little 86 horsepower 4-cylinder with this racing manifold. Oh my gosh, that thing was way faster than it should have been. But anyway, so that was the only time I've been pulled over in my life, and didn't get in trouble or anything. Not even a warning. Just like, this is a lot in Michigan. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, look at that nice crosswind. And that was that. And I figured that was my freebie, even though I wasn't really speeding based on Minnesota law, but that was my one freebie, I told myself, and I haven't broken the speed limit since. I will follow the laws in the right lane with cruise. And for those of you who like to fly down the freeway, even though I sit in the right lane with cruise doing the speed limit, I'm not the slowest person on the road. I pass people all the time. So anyway, we're about to head over Lake Michigan itself. How beautiful is this? We're going to go all the way across the lake to Escanaba. I do have another story, but I want to quick check the systems here, make sure everything's fine. Oh, descend to target. Look at that. We didn't miss it by much because VSR is still 820, so we didn't miss it that much. So here we go. Let's go down, what was it, 4, where's my little dealio? 4, no, yes, 2200, is that what I said? Yes, okay. Let's bring this down no lower than that because our next waypoint's 14. So let's bring this down to 1400. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice from all this story time. come over here, and we're going to just simply hit one button. Check this out. Descend. That's it. I just have to bring back throttles, though, so we don't go nuts on our speed. So that's what we got to watch now. So, next thing we need to do is see if we can get our destination weather yet. I don't think so. Oh, it's right there off the screen. So we'll get our destination weather in a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to keep heading toward whatever runway this is. Runway 27. Already forgot. Okay. Runway 27, we'll just keep an eye on our VSR. If it gets to be too much one way or the other, we'll make adjustments. Looks like it's holding at 840, so we'll keep it there. Great, so now we just have to keep an eye on our speed and not overspeed. We should be good. Landing lights will come back on at 10 grand, and we'll check weather in a moment. So anyway, back out the window here. Ooh, oh, look at that. All of a sudden we have clouds. Nice, hopefully they're not touching the ground. The other story about Michigan. Oh yes, my wife and I, we used to take road trips. Before kids, we would take road trips. We just literally hop in the car and go somewhere for like 3 days and see where we end up. But we did our Upper Peninsula trip, which is probably why it's the Upper Peninsula in the beginning. And here we are over the water, just about. Our Upper Peninsula trip, we took a week. Drove from Minneapolis, stopped overnight somewhere in Wisconsin, and then just did a whole bunch of campsites along the Upper Peninsula. And we found out later, the entire family took bets on how long my wife would last in the tent, because her idea of camping is setting up a tent and then going to a hotel instead. So we, oops, I'm installing well weather updates. So we lasted every night in a tent except once when we crossed over to Canada and Sault Ste. Marie. We did stay in a hotel, but that was planned the entire time. That was always planned. So we camped every night except one for a week. And we were never told who won the bet or who lost, but apparently there was some money involved on how many nights my wife will last. And just like that, boom, clouds are gone apparently. Okay, we got some islands out here. Oh, of course we are, because yeah, never mind. So that was kind of funny to find out, but we did a lot of camping, a lot of cooking. I got a lot of headaches because at the time I didn't realize I have allergies to things like charcoal and wood burning. So I had a headache the entire week, but that was okay. We had a lot of fun. We saw Big Mac, the bridge. We went to Mackinac Island. We did not stay on Mackinac Island. We stayed at the KOA just on the mainland. Went to Sault Ste. Marie, went into Canada, which was hilarious because when we were getting travel information, they said, whatever you do, do not try to come back from Canada Thursdays at 2 p.m. because it's like a 2-hour wait to cross the border because of all the senior citizens going to the casino on the Canadian side or something for senior day. So they all go in the morning and they all come back by 2 and you have to wait all day. So they said any other time is fine. So that was kind of funny, but wasn't a concern for us. We went to Canada for a night, ate at A&W, got our A&W mugs in French, came back, and then drove back along Upper Peninsula and stayed at a couple campgrounds. Like I said, we did go to Tequendon Falls. I have a subscriber who works in that area. He's mentioned it before. And so we stayed at Tequendon Falls. There was a big sign saying bears in the area. Please watch your small children. People thought it was funny and they'd pose with the sign. I'm thinking, yeah, that's not really a joke. People take it seriously. But otherwise, that was pretty fun. Okay, 834, so still going to VSR. Otherwise, we went rowboating at the bottom of the falls, which was hilarious because there are signs everywhere saying don't go over here or over there because you'll bottom out on the rocks. And how many people did we see bottomed out on the rocks anyway? No, at least a dozen. It was super amusing. People can't follow basic instructions. Those signs are not for fun. Signs are expensive. They're not going to put a sign up for fun. But otherwise, that's it. For my stories anyway. So let's get back to flying. There is Michigan. There's the hand of Michigan. If you want to know where Mackinac Island would be, it'd be way over there. You can't see it from here, of course. Otherwise, you can kind of see the shore. If I turn the view at the right angle, you can see the other side of the lake. So we can see across the lake, at least from 16,000 feet, or nowhere lower than that now. We're at 12,004. Otherwise, I'm going to manage this stuff. Got a few things to manage here. Landing lights will come on soon, which will probably be off camera, but trust me, I will turn the landing lights on at 10 grand. We will look for a destination airport in a minute. Let's do a little bit of sightseeing, and then we'll get those things straightened out. Alright, let's get our landing lights turned on now and come down here and check our VSR, make sure we're still on schedule. 8:40, boom, looking good. 10 minutes out to our waypoint, 45 minutes, and then what do we have? We got a dog leg to the left. So this waypoint, Juno, we want to be at 2200, and that's what our VNav is going to tell us. And then we want to drop down to 14 after that. Okay, should be pretty straightforward. Let's get our weather and everything. Let's see here. Where are we going to? KESC, which is right here. Escanaba. Boom. What are we lined up for? We're working out on 27. What do we have? Line variable, so we're going to be 27 will work. 3017. Let's zoom this back out a little bit here. You can see where we are halfway across the lake. 30. Oshkosh is down here somewhere, by the way. Anyway, 3017, I think I said right. Let's double check that. 3017. Yes. Zoom in. And 3017. Boom. Just like that. Alright, let's go over here. How are things looking on our VSR? We're still on schedule. 8:41. Yeah, we're still on schedule. Good. Alright. Not much else to say other than speed is fine. Everything's fine. We got our destination stuff. Truly for flaps and truly for gear by a long shot, of course. Landing lights ready on. So there we go. We'll just wait until we get down lower. Then we'll do flaps and gear and get ready to land. And today we're going to land the way we're supposed to. We are going to land at idle, add our touchdown speed 104 knots, and we're going to get sucked into the ground like nobody's business because of the sim. But you know what? I'm sick of fighting the sim. We're going to do it the way you're supposed to do it. The intention will be there. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, Foomer looks out the window, and we will see you in a moment. Alright, we're just about to get over the other side of the lake, over into the Escanaba area. So let's have a look down here. Let's make sure VSR is still okay. And 832 coming down, so we are still good. Haven't had to do much with that at all. If this gets too much out of whack, you have to adjust your autopilot. As long as you're within the vicinity of your profile, you're fine. So, looking good there. 5 minutes out. 5.5 minutes out, I should say, to that waypoint. We'll make our turn to the left. Very good. Very nice. Okay. Nothing to worry about there. I brought our speed back a little bit because I didn't want to get too fast. Otherwise, we are just going to sit here and wait until we get to our waypoint and then make adjustments to get down even farther and review our altitudes. And our GPS is doing that weird thing that it did in our last flight. Remember before this approach thing? Not last flight, a couple flights ago, where I skipped some stuff and the GPS went nuts? It's doing that again in this airplane, so obviously it has nothing to do with the plane. It's just the way it works when you fool with your approach. So I don't know what to say about that, but I don't know. At least it's pointing towards the airport again, or towards the next waypoint. Very strange. I might have to go back to entering them myself. I didn't want to, though. I kind of like using the built-in thing, because that's what you normally do. I'm going to bring it back throttles a little bit. I want to slow down to about 180 or so. And get ready to intercept our final approach. So our VSR had said something else. I missed it. VSR said, what? 6, yeah. So that means we're coming down too soon. So let's go up, oops, to 600. Just like that. And then we want to be about 180 on the speed, which is there, but I have to adjust the throttles a little bit because we're pointing up now. So there we go. Just like that. We'll keep it just like that. Keep an eye on this VSR. As it comes down, I'll make adjustments if it gets down too low. Again, this is what I set it for, but this is what you really need to be. So as that gets closer, and then we'll just go nuts right before you get your waypoint. So anyway, we're 2 minutes out. We'll make our turn to final. We'll have to start talking about flaps and gear. Alright, we're less than a minute out now, and that's gonna just sit there about 500, so we'll keep that the way it is. When we make our turn, we want to be at 2200, I think I said. And where are we? We'll be right about there. Good. Then we come down to 1400 autopilot. If I'm not disengaged by then, it'll keep us there so we don't crash. And so I'm not paying, in case I don't pay attention or something. So there we go. We're about to turn on a final. Let's bring throttles back even farther so we can get gear and flaps down as soon as we make this turn. And we need to stop looking around. So we're going to do our very last sightseeing tour here very quickly. Coming into Escanaba. Airport should be off to the left a little bit. Speed this thing up because we don't have time. There we go. That looks awesome. Looking out the windows. Buzzing the neighborhoods. Hop up front. And we should be turning. Did we turn? I missed it? Nope. We got one more little waypoint to go. Alrighty. Hopefully this works. There, now we're turning. There we go. Let's look out the window quickly. So use this one. Just see water. Use that one. There we go. That looks cool. Alright, what are we going to do? We need to come down on 1400 or so. There's a runway. Get gear down. And first set of flaps, go autopilot because autopilot hates flaps. Props forward. And we want to slow down a little bit. So we want to approach 110. Land at 104. Throttles at idle, props forward. That's how you do it in real life. Simulator's going to suck us down and we're going to smash into the ground, but such is life. I spend a lot of time talking about overcoming the sim. We're not going to worry about that today. We're just going to land. So here we go. Road weather's turned on, but there's hardly any wind at all. Second set of flaps, so we're going to float like crazy. Trim down because I am fighting my yoke. Nope, we're below touchdown speed because I'm not paying attention. I was watching the little electric trim knob go. That was really funny. Alright, again, blowing a little bit, as we should be. Oh, we're floating like crazy. Anyway, gears down, flaps are down. Everything is set. We're just going to try to reline up with the runway here. We're at our ideal approach speed. We're going to go down to that first flag, though, when we touch down with props at idle, props forward, throttles at idle. With a flare, but you'll see, even though I flare, my yoke will be all the way back. We're going to slam into the ground because that is what happens. This model doesn't work out ever since X-Plane 11.10, I think. Can't remember what it was, but we're getting blown. Crosswind from the left. If I want to do crosswind landing, it'd be left wing down, right rudder, which is hard to do because my rudder's on my yoke and my right hand is used for my throttle. So we'll see what we can do. Here we go. Approach speed is good. Ready for touchdown speed. Aim for those numbers. And there's our touchdown speed. And I'm going to start my flare now. And do a little bit of crosswind compensation. We're at idle. And I'm doing my flare. And it's going to suck us down, see? Well, not too bad, though. Nose wheel down gently. Reversers and brakes. Trying to get back to my yoke, because that's where my rudders are, and that's why it's hard to straighten out. And let go of the reversers at 40. Brake a little more so we make this turn. And flaps coming in. And there you go. And oh, my Yeah. I know I say this every video. I have to get rudder pedals. The yoke rudder paddles are not working anymore. It's so difficult to do simple things. All right, here we go. If we had a co-pilot, we'd do a few things right now. So let's stop, set the parking brake, props back to taxi, low idle for taxi, come up here and do the taxi lights, turn on our cabin lights so people can collect their belongings, come down here, stop the clock. So hour and 16, take away 40, I think it was 43. So that's a little more than half hour flight time. Okay, good. Otherwise, after landing checklist, lights, conditioners. Yeah, we did that. Okay. Let's hop outside, see where we're going. I guess we're just going to the main dealio here. I have to wait in line for that other flight, so let's just park next to them, I guess. Otherwise, not terrible landing considering what we have to deal with this model, Index 11.21. Not bad at all, but what you didn't see is my yoke was all the way back, and we were well above stall, but it just gets sucked to the ground. But whatever. I actually didn't mind this time because it's less work than fighting it. Otherwise, they'll veer to the left. That's because my rudder control is on my yoke, and I'm using my hands for other things like my throttles and my reversers and my brakes and my ailerons. So when it comes to rudder control, it kind of ends up being the last thing on the list, and then we veer to the side. Anyway, that's just the way it is for now. So let's just stop here, even with that guy. Come down here. I stretch, set the parking brake. And what do we need to do to shut this thing down? Taxi lights off. First of all, we're going to bring throttle props back. I love that sound. Bring the fuel back. Come up here, turn off the taxi lights, and we can now turn on or off these other lights. We'll leave the recog on. We'll leave that on. We'll put that on. Whoop, nope, over there. That's good, I think. We'll leave all that the way it is. Yes, come down here. Turn on external power, though. So people still have lights when they leave. Battery light can come off now. All this stuff can all come off now because we have external power turned on. That should come off before. I should add that to my list. Now that I've been doing this plane a long time, I should probably update my checklist. I made this checklist way back in the beginning when I really had no idea what I was doing. And now that I know this airplane so well, I should probably, update some things. Otherwise, that's all we need to do. We still have lights though. See? Because we have external power. Get this thing going. Get that thing going. Hop out here. Stop like this. Open up our baggage door. Aerostatic elements. In case you're wondering, this airplane does not have a restroom. They did make some with restrooms in real life, but then you lost a lot of baggage room. Otherwise, looks like we're parked next to a cousin over there. Alright, welcome to Escanaba, Michigan. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Let's zoom out so you can see the lake a little bit. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the 50 States series. If you're a big subscriber, thank you for continuing support. Why am I losing my voice? Too much story time. If you found me by accident, please like, please subscribe, please turn on notifications, and visit the playlist for the other flights in this series. Minnesota's next, my home state. I kind of have a fun one. Well, don't get your hopes up. It's kind of a goofy one. Not even goofy. It's just something interesting planned for Minnesota. That's coming up next. So turn on those notifications so that you get notified when that video is done. And I'll catch you on the next one.